She makes like video content of old games, like
I'm sorry,
Juggernaut.
baby.
If you're gonna have these conversations, can you please let me know?
I'm sorry.
They're being insanely loud.
I am. I'm sorry. I was too loud, guys.
I gotta feel in trouble.
I'm sorry. My wife wants to go to sleep. I'm sorry, guys.
That was the era that Sony was just making tons of mistakes. So they released base PS3 for $600, which was way more expensive than any other console on the market at the time. If you remember, it had the backwards compatibility that cost it more. It had the Bluetooth controllers that cost more money. It had Bluetooth headsets that cost more money. It had the Blu-ray player in there that cost more money. It had like a ton of things that just cost way more money. And then they started stripping it down later and removing the features. So the first thing they did was got rid of backwards compatibility. Then they got rid of the 6-axis shit, remember? Because no one used 6-axis. So that got removed. Like everything just got slowly removed from the console that no one cared about. Someone tipped $2 is, if you had to guess, what percentage of games do you think you finished so far in 2026? 0.0001%, because I don't play every game. So there's no way that I could have completed every single game that's come out. I know that's a sarcastic answer because the way you worded it was incorrect. I think what you meant to say was, of all of the games that you've played in 2026, how many have you completed? That we can answer. All right? So, here's 2026. Let's see. Okay. So we have another super chat. Thank you. I'll shout that out in a second, Tim. I'm trying to find the ones that we definitively started this year. So it had to begin in 2026. Let's find out. When did this one start? Nope, that was December. This was also December. Okay, Quarantine Zone, we didn't finish. We're counting how many games we didn't finish. Quarantine Zone, we didn't finish. Hightail doesn't have an ending. That one doesn't count. Hollow Knight, we did finish. Highguard has no ending. That doesn't count. Dredge, we didn't play past an hour. Let's see. Nope, we beat that one. Crizzle. God of War, Sons of Sparta. Deadlock doesn't have an ending. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Marathon doesn't have an ending. Slay the Spire 2, we did technically beat. We did. We actually did runs of it. Okay, Mugenics, so that's 6. Crimson Desert. Retro Rewind, although technically we're going back to Retro Rewind at some point, so that one we won't count. Okay. Pokemon Champions has no end. That doesn't count. And I guess we could say Vampire... No, we did beat Vampire... Okay, we didn't beat the whole game of Vampire Crawlers. Okay. All right, so we'll say 8 games I started and didn't finish. Now, let's take a look at the games that I did finish. Hollow Knight. Terminator 2D No Fate. Sharks and Minnows. We're going to beat Dragon Quest, but technically we didn't yet, so we won't count it. We did beat Hellmart. Resident Evil 9. Slay the Spire 2, technically I beat. Okay, that counts. Fire Red, we didn't finish. Okay, we didn't finish anything else because we haven't finished the games. However, I am going to beat Pragmata. I am going to beat Mouse PI for Hire. We are going to beat Pokemon Fire Red. So, honestly, it's about even, actually. It's about an even split of games that I finished and games we're going to finish Dragon Quest. The thing is, these games are so long, right? Like Dragon Quest and shit, like Pokemon, they've been going on forever. So you can't technically count them as playthroughs that are done yet, but they will finish. Overall, it looks like it's about even, about half and half. And hey, that's a big change for sure. It used to be, hey, I'd start a game and I would always commit to beating the game, and I'd end up playing games no one wanted for months. Now we're able to try a game, see if it works, play it for a few times. Like some of those games that we didn't finish, it's fine because people liked them and we're still going to go back, right? Other games like Quarantine Zone, that was a perfect game for 2-3 streams, and then we're like, okay, we saw enough and we move on. So I think that the current way I'm doing things is much better than the old way, and I think it is resulting in more people enjoying the content than they used to. So, Tim, thank you for another 10 euros because I'm trying to get the King's Tax to $100 before the podcast ends. Well, indeed, I think you have done that. Because with that 10 euros, that's the equivalent of $11.71. So that means that now you've upped your top super chat amount. And we have now gotten to 98 of support. Thanks to Tim. Thank you so much, Tim. And then Secret Rain did a $2 super chat. He says, beating the Elite Four is technically beating Fire Red. And you know we're going to do that. We're going to actually, beat the main story of Fire Red for sure. Thank you to Secret Rain for $2. I appreciate that. Very good. Are you guys annoyed at Krebs? Do you want me to ban him for spamming? Because he is spamming, but I've just ignored him. But if you guys are bothered because you're bringing it up now, I'll just get rid of him. Yes? Okay. Try to be nice, but, he's spamming the chat like an idiot. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think this was a great podcast. Did you enjoy it? I did. I had a good time. And chill vibes, and we figured out, hey, it is what it is with both Pragmata and Vampire Crawlers. Pragmata will finish. Vampire Crawlers, I guess we'll call it, and we're done with it. Next few games that we're going to play, we'll probably do Tomodachi Life sooner rather than later. We'll probably bring back Classic Street Fighter at least once a week, maybe Friday nights, Friday Night Fights. We're going to continue with Mouse PI. We're going to continue and finish Dragon Quest. We're going to continue and finish a Pokemon, a Fire Red. And then we got Saros coming out on Thursday. So we got a lot of stuff to juggle. Early May, we may add a new game or two. We'll probably end up looking at the indies wish list that we got on Steam and maybe try a few games there and go from there. All right, so good stuff. Okay. All righty, folks. So thank you so very much for chilling for the Level 1 podcast today. I hope that you enjoyed the show. So quick reminder, there will not be a Level 1 podcast again until Sunday. We're getting back on track with the normal schedule. The next couple of days, there will be DSP morning shows. And then Friday is the big May 1st busting marathon for Mega Man. And therefore, there'll be no podcast that day either. All right. But I certainly hope that you guys will come back, hang out, and have a good time with me over the course of this next coming week, and I will be back for a full-length Level 1 podcast to get you all caught up this coming Sunday. Thank you all very, very much for watching the Level 1 podcast. I will see you soon. Peace out.